Welcome! There it is. To Retro Movie Geek, the show where we, your humble hosts, watch and discuss a retro movie, which we define as any movie 20 years old or older. This, of course, means we spoil the heck out of every movie we cover. So if you haven't seen this episode's cinematic delight, then consider yourself forewarned. I am Joel, and I am joined, as always, by Peter.
I was trying to look freeze, and then suddenly my hand was supposed to.
Oh, that's how it does.
I don't know.
And
I'm here.
Daryl. Daryl's here too. There he is. So if you're listening to the audio version of this, there's a video version as well on the YouTubes, on Mob and Pop Video Shop, on the YouTubes. Look us up.
Where Daryl is impersonating a Klingon.
Indeed. So we have a couple of, from the top, a couple of announcements, one of which we're going to wait till the end of the show because we're those people. So
yeah.
And it's kind of a major because it literally has to do with the fact, like, for instance, I don't know if anyone's noticed, all three of you that listen regularly, that this show hasn't been, we haven't done one since, what was it, March or April that we did that one with Chris?
It's been a while.
April?
It's been a while.
It feels like it's been a minute.
At least a couple of weeks of those.
I keep showing up, but these people, I don't know.
Hey, I had the flu for 3 weeks almost.
That was life event number one. Yeah, and then all the other life events trickled in. So we haven't done. So moving forward, things are going to change a bit.
Like I could do cocaine and I had to go to rehab. It was the whole thing.
Klingon cocaine.
And we will. But if you stick around to the end, you'll be one of the people who knows what the hell's going on.
Wind up missing you.
Wow.
On the second note, I believe Peter knows this, but Daryl doesn't, and I figured I'd save it for the beginning of the show.
Oh no!
To give Daryl
taking over.
No, here we go. So Daryl, last time we talked, it was before we weren't recording, but we talked, and I said that I had something done that I wanted to wait to show you.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Peter knows. All right, ready? Wait for it. Ready? Wait for it.
Dick enlargement.
Can you see it?
What the hell?
Yeah, I got
braces.
You got braces at 60?
I got braces.
At 60?
48, smartass.
Hey, if he's 60, how the hell old?
You're 80. You're 80, Peter.
There's that.
Did wife kiss you with that metal mouth?
Yeah, I know. Isn't it crazy? No, I've needed braces pretty much my entire life, and I never got them. And so my dentist was like, "Yeah, you really need to do this."
I have questions after the show.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Because when I had braces, I was too young and I wasn't getting nothing. So
okay.
It wasn't much of a problem even thinking about it.
Got it.
You're saying Joel got something?
Wait, what? I will say I only have the top on. The bottoms are coming next week, and then I get 4 teeth ripped out of my face.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's gonna be something.
You're gonna have like a headband with.
But my Steve Buscemi smile will finally be straight.
You know what? He's going Hollywood. That's why he's getting.
That's what his job.
I know.
Yep.
He's going Hollywood.
Are you gonna have all that like a crash thing with the things?
No! Tyson said he was hoping I would get like the headgear.
Yeah.
Like Joan Cusack.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
That would have been. I'm not gonna lie. And I asked the orthodontist. I said, "Hey, I do podcasts, so is this gonna affect my speech?" And he said, "Nah, it really shouldn't." I said, "Because if it does, I'm just gonna lean into it." And just be like, I'm 48 years old, but I'm talking like a
cool a lot.
So did you, Daryl, you had braces?
Yeah, but I was
when you were supposed to, like as
10,
a kid.
It was like 10, 11.
Yeah, like as a kid when you're supposed to.
They put them shits in on. I'll never forget. They put those shits on the day before Thanksgiving.
Oh, what?
And I sat there watching all those
mashed potatoes.
Eating.
All you could do was eat mashed potatoes. Yep.
Everything in my mouth hurt when them shits came in.
My front 4 teeth, because what sucks is again, this is all a little temporary in the sense that they still have to rip out 2 teeth on the top. And so they didn't attach so basically I had like 4 teeth that felt like they were loose. So every time I bit into something, it's like you could, it's yeah. So I was souping it up. Why would you do that right before Thanksgiving to a kid, man?
Because my mother was like, I'm paying for that shit and you're not. So whenever the fuck we're going to do it and we get the appointment, we're going to fucking do it. And I was trying to be an asshole about it. I was like, and I'm sitting here and, life is so rough for me.
She saved money on your food too.
Well, you don't like me and I got to go through this and I can't eat anything. And she was like, I don't give a fuck. You're going to get these fucking things and that is all it is. And
yeah.
When you have 4 teeth ripped out, will we get a snaggletooth photo?
I want it.
Oh, I will. I'll get you one, like a little.
Yeah, I want a barn picture. I want you in front of a barn or something.
And true Southerner style, have missing teeth, and I'll be like,
and then we'll do a song. We'll be like, hey, I look like a wave on the sunset.
Want to see my sister? She's not
Want
there.
to see my sister?
She's not there.
Oh man, kiss me in the mouth, baby.
Oh,
that's
my
what
God.
you need to.
Got a dirty mouth.
Did you say that to your wife?
Yeah, I did ask her. I said, I realize this is probably really doing it for you.
You got to say it in the voice, though.
Don't I say it like this?
No, you got to say it.
Oh, say it
like, hey, honey.
I
Hey,
got
honey.
a pretty mouth.
Yeah, I got a right pretty mouth, don't
I
I?
got a pretty mouth. Or you have her say it to you, but she won't.
Quick question.
She's not laughing.
No, she's actually got class.
Laughing,
Hey, Daryl, does Peter have a hemorrhoid pillow on his head?
I think he does.
No, this is like a
Oh,
I thought it was a hemorrhoid pillow.
It's too fucking soft, so it does.
Well, you had to make one for yourself. You couldn't just buy a dang neck pillow.
Well, he's too tall.
No, I don't know who one of the kids bought this.
He's too tall.
Okay. Years
All right.
ago.
Well, here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
I wanted something on my head too.
If you do stick around to the end of the show, which as we all know,
I will tell you what movie we're covering today.
we will get
That
to
would
that
help.
eventually. Yeah, 6 minutes in.
Yeah.
Now that we're done making fun of me and my braces.
Yeah.
We will, by the end of the show, and make our announcement of how things are changing, and they are changing for Retro Movie Geek. Somewhat. Would you agree with that statement? Okay. But we are, for this episode, we are covering Bridge on the River Kwai, which I would also argue is a change because this show is actually considered a classic, and it's way older than what we usually cover. And I just, by the way, right before we came on, I watched Anacondas for the first. Oh, sorry, Anaconda, the one with J-Lo and Ice Cube.
Oh, yeah, none unless you.
That's
funds.
Right. Yeah, my Anaconda don't want none. Yeah. I will say this: I forgot how much fun that freaking movie is.
Yeah, it is
fun.
Yeah. Yes.
What
Anaconda is great.
Watch?
And J-Lo and Ice Cube
Anaconda.
live at the end. Another one that my kids were convinced, because they love Ice Cube, they were convinced he would not make it as a black man in a horror movie. I said, wait for it. It's like Deep Blue Sea.
Big deal for our people.
Deep Blue Sea and Anaconda. Same thing.
Big deal for our people.
2 movies.
Yep.
Out of how many?
A lot.
Yes.
Yep.
Big deal. That was a big deal.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah. But to the point now where the trope is if you're black, you're completely safe. And so therefore, we now need to get back to where on occasion the character could die, just because, not because one way or the other.
We need to kill all the niggers.
I didn't say that, my God.
That's what I said.
What, you just called Daryl my God? Oh,
well, that's
your God now?
Yeah.
Well, there was blackface in this movie.
Yes, there was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's does that count, though? Because that's military, and they that's a whole Navy SEAL special forces.
It counts when you have brown people rubbing you.
Well, there is that. But then again, let's be honest. So wait, let's open up the can of hypocrisy.
Yes.
So cut to Daryl in a village filled with beautiful young women of Asian descent.
Yes.
And they're offering to rub down Daryl with whatever the charcoal or whatever the hell it was.
Yes.
I'm sure you would have really been like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
That's reparations. No, I would take it. That's reparations. But
I figured when you've got pasty white Englishmen, you got to cover
last
them up.
night, I was sitting there just jealous. I was like, "Look."
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
You know what I thought when they were floating on
motherfuckers.
Yeah, Daryl subscribes to the politics of envy and grievance.
They're sitting there getting rubbed, and I'm like, they just happen to come across the most hottest women in the
in the village,
and they're just rubbing them and looking them in the eye. You know what I mean? You know what? Let me tell you something.
Don't look me in the eye.
I don't feel I deserve pleasure, like it's in the back of my head. So them looking in the eye, that would throw me off. Them to look me in the eyes while they're rubbing me like that, I would look away. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah,
white men, y'all could just look and be like,
no, don't speak for all white men. No, I'm on Team Daryl.
Look at these movies.
That's a movie.
That is a
movie. That is
y'all
a
can
movie.
walk in a village and be like, how you like me now?
Listen,
and
for
then
me,
all the women to come on y'all, and y'all could sit there with no
shame. Daryl, what makes it worse, Daryl, that's what the media portrays, and in actuality, and in real life, it is never going to be that way.
And again,
you know what? A white man came to my neighborhood yesterday, and he just walked in and took all the women, and he smiled. He looked us all in the eyes.
Did you give one of these?
The women away.
You got?
Yeah, he did. He said, and walked away with all the Peter.
You know what? It's also science fiction because they were rubbing them all. They were like really high up because they were blackface all over.
Yeah, and then these British people kept talking about a bridge, and I was like, "Shut the fuck up, man! What are you
how long would you actually last having a pretty Asian woman rubbing you up there? I mean, you would have.
Well, that's also my shame.
4 minutes.
I wouldn't last 4 minutes. That's a long time. I wouldn't last that long.
Well, they start with the feet.
I would be like, I gotta go somewhere. I'm sorry. I have to leave.
Give me a tuft of grass to wipe this off.
Oh my god!
You know what I thought? You know what I thought when they were floating along with the raft of blackface?
The River Kwai.
I was like, "Don't smile. Don't smile."
Oh!
Don't look surprised. Don't look surprised. Peter.
Well, once they put all the blackface on, I was like, you know, they're going to be late and they're not going to be able to blow up the bridge on time. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Oh my God, Peter! You have a synopsis?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Let's see. Is there actually anything that describes the movie?
No.
Critically acclaimed, The Bridge on the River Kwai contains plenty of high-powered excitement set against the background of World War II. Captured by the Japanese, British soldiers and their ranking officer, Colonel Nicholson, played by Alec Guinness in an Oscar-winning performance, because he did win that, are forced to construct a strategic railroad bridge. Despite cruel treatment by the brutal Colonel Saito, Sessue Hayakawa,
say it 3 times fast. Say it 3 times fast.
Yeah.
No, Nicholson displays unyielding courage, and the bridge, does he really? And the bridge becomes a matter of obsessive British pride to him. Meanwhile, the British High Command has instructed a commando team, William Holden, Jack Hawkins, and Geoffrey Horne, or plays that commando team, to destroy the vital span. A monumental film with an unforgettably explosive climax. See how they did there?
Yeah.
Was that before or after they got the rub down?
I think I'd say that was after or during.
I get that.
Okay.
Never mind finishing. I'm done.
All right, so we have to address something. Daryl, before we started recording, insinuated that this movie had him all kinds of confused. So we're going to figure out why that is.
Yes.
I don't feel like it's that hard to follow.
No.
And Daryl's a smart guy. I can vouch for that.
I don't know.
So I'm trying to figure out why exactly he's confused. But that being said, Daryl, had you seen this before?
No, I've never watched this movie in all in completion. I've only seen parts like my mother was watching it, and I remember going in and out of the house all over the place and looking like, oh God, this thing is still on. And
it's a long one. Yeah.
Leaving, not thinking twice about it. Like
it's not Lawrence of Arabia long, which is David Lean.
She's watched that too, and I'm like, what?
Dr. Zhivago. Dr. Zhivago is what, about 3 hours as well, I think.
My mother has watched that also. Man, my mother watched a lot of long ass movies.
A lot of British epic movies. So I had seen this when I was younger, and then I saw it a couple of times since. And it's my favorite David Lean movie. I haven't seen like every David Lean movie, but of the ones I've seen, this is my favorite.
Right.
I love William Holden. There's something, he's got that. He's the great cynical American guy from he's got that vibe. You know what I mean? That that cynical guy.
That's me.
Yeah, exactly. He represents like every. It's so funny because everyone likes to think like the rah Americans. Like, no, I feel like the cynical thing is a lot more on point.
Yes.
We
got to do what now?
Yeah. What? I want to go home.
When you find out what he actually what he's done and why he just want to go home. It's kind of fun, and then he gets roped into it again.
He's like, I like how he said in the movie where he's like, we're gonna have a meeting tonight, and he's like, tonight good, and it's planned. He's trying to imply it has to be good tonight, and he's like, no.
Nope.
He's like, no, I'm gonna have sex tonight.
Yes.
No.
Nope, not tonight, boss. How about tomorrow, 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
And he was even when he says 10 a.m., he even looks like, really?
He's like, I got a nap after all that sex that I'm having all night. So
maybe up again at 9. So I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
Peter, had you seen this before?
Yeah, it's been a while though. So
were you there?
Well, yeah, no, well, I wasn't there.
I knew you were there.
It's too fucking hot and sweaty.
It is. Yes.
So no, it's been a while, and this is the one of the classics.
Yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush. It won 7 Academy Awards. So.
And there was a time when that meant something.
I know, back in the day.
I don't actually probably never really did. In the
No, I know.
Really?
But it's still, a 7 Academy.
I'm not a cinepholuminous, so I did not watch this movie.
Yeah,
like the rest of you guys did.
Yeah, I what I love is that I love the cinematography. I think the way it's shot is gorgeous.
It is.
I will say it's so funny, even though I've seen this movie at least 3-4 times totally in my whole life. I always forget that William Holden's character gets away, and that there's this whole other element of him.
It's like it splits up in 2 different movies.
Yeah,
it comes back at the end.
I always forget that. I always, for some reason, in my head, I always think he stays, and like he and Obi-Wan Kenobi are always having, like they're at each other's. And it's not really; they don't even interact that much.
No.
Until very, very end of
the director was not a fan of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
He was not a fan of dialogue, and so that's why you get the
very visual,
the scenes with the most dialogue in the beginning, and then you get in the middle when he's rescued, and then they have that meeting with him. That's the most dialogue you get to set up what's going to happen in the rest of the movie.
And how much do you love? How much do you gotta love him trying to pull like a con that he's not who they think he is,
right?
Yeah.
And that he just, I just stole. Like, think about it. He's admitting to what would pretty much be a crime.
Right.
Like you faked
impersonating
an officer. I'm assuming that's the lie, right?
Yeah. Well, the lie is he is the officer. He's really who
he is the officer.
But he's so badly, he would rather go to the brig and get court-martialed.
Go back.
Go back.
To that shithole.
And I don't blame him.
I don't blame him.
I do not blame him.
Bit.
No, it's honest. It's a very honest.
Put me in military prison.
Yes, better than
I'll
that.
take it. It's better than
also
what happened to him.
The fact that the movie kind of asks a lot of questions about the whole hierarchy and why everybody's okay with it, apparently.
Yeah. You know what didn't rub me wrong. I don't know why I said it that way. Did
it rub you wrong like a villager applying charcoal?
No, because that was the right way.
No, you know what threw me off was that usually in these movies there's this motivation with this big motivation. This is what we're going to do. When the character of Colonel Nicholson basically he went from all of the stuff of defying him, and then he broke Colonel Saito, and then he was like, not only are we going to build a bridge, we're going to
go above and beyond.
Yes, we're going to go above and beyond. And I was like, why are you doing
okay.
What?
So that's what I thought.
That kind of comes back to
later. And I would so that's what I think is cool about this movie, and proof that again things used to be written better and with more nuance.
Yes.
His character, in order to stay sane,
I believe has to that bridge, because remember he says the line about to Colonel Saito about the idea like how he spent 28 years in the military. He has no family. He has
when
no
you have more
legacy.
years, when you're closer to the end.
Yes,
you are,
and he has no legacy, right? He has no legacy at home. So he even makes a comment about the bridge and the pride he has when they're going to put that plaque up, and that pride and that hubris mixed in with, I think he really believed that by having something to do would give everybody a sense of purpose, which isn't wrong, right?
No.
You'll give everybody a sense of purpose. But I think he became so consumed by that, it blinded him to what the goal was, which is to beat the enemy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because he wanted the bridge to. So this is going to be like a legacy of what British ingenuity and then soldiers.
Because you know what I kept thinking. I
yeah.
think my mind has been. I've watched so many war pictures where your thing is to plan to get out, right?
Yeah.
So my mind stayed with that, and I guess I just wasn't focused enough. And so when he was doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. He gets them more rations. They get stronger. They're healthier, and then he's gonna take over that fucking village and get everybody out. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But then when he was like, "No, we're just gonna build this bridge."
Yeah.
But don't you feel like Daryl at some level, because that's how it's always portrayed in a movie? Like it's so much more honest to human nature that someone like him, who's a very he's like that classic English gentleman with all the, and it's like when somebody
he's
like
bureaucracy.
He is bureaucracy, and he is
yeah.
somebody who has 100% has bought in to all the BS of what it means.
Like,
and
if we make this company great, you're great. We won't give you a raise.
Yeah,
we won't give you any promotion.
You'll bask in the glory.
Yes,
but when we do this, I'll get my bonus. But
he's the ultimate company man.
He's such the company man.
Yep.
And again, think about this. They all arrive, and yet there's a couple of officers. And Colonel Saito, or maybe Colonel Saito, was it? It was, yeah.
Yes, Saito.
Wants everybody to work equally. And this colonel says, basically, fuck that. I'm an officer. And my officer,
is the rules.
Me and my officers.
Yeah. But that's the funny thing is there are like the funny thing that people are trying to get him to understand. There's no fucking rules in war.
Yeah, not like that. No.
But then again, he says, we're not going to work. My men will work.
Yeah.
But we're not supposed to work.
Yeah, we're
all of the men are like, yes, go. We'll go to work and you stay here and eat and have. Well, they didn't because they were throwing them in the oven.
Right.
But that is an interesting aspect of it. And then when they get out, it's like, the colonel beat the Japanese. Yeah, he got what he wanted. We'll go to work and he'll stay in the hut being cool. Wait a minute. Someone must have said, you know what? I don't buy into this.
Yeah.
So, but it's again, it's the rules and everything. And the Geneva Convention, I like how Colonel Saito takes it up and just
Shears didn't give into
pee on it.
That was the thing. Shears was like, no.
That's not gonna work.
Let's try to get out. We got enough people now. Let's go. Let's do this.
It's an interesting thought, and they don't really shy away from it.
And what's great is you don't ever have exposition dumps for the audience's sake. We are driven to infer all these things based on actions characters take or don't take.
When we get to the end, because when we get to the end and Nicholson kind of like, first off, he realized, I'm like, you snitch bastard. Why are you telling me?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And
he's like, he's like with the wire.
Yes. And he does the whole fucking thing. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you fucking doing?
Even I was upset with that level of snitching.
Yes. Yeah. But then I know, right? I was like, even Joe wouldn't snitch that bad.
Not that bad. Come on.
And then when it finally hit him, when the soldier died in front of him, that kid, and he's like, "What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, what have
I
done?"
And also
war.
when he sees Shears coming back,
this is war. What am I doing?
And also when he sees Shears coming back, he thought he was dead.
Yeah, and he thought he was dead.
Oh, what am I doing?
Yeah, what am I fucking doing?
Yeah.
Like, and that's when I'm. Okay.
The ending of this movie. I don't want to jump too far ahead. Obviously, we got like 2 hours and 40 something minutes to discuss. But the ending is so beautifully simple and poetic. It is a perfect ending.
Yeah.
The fact that everyone basically dies for all intents and purposes, and the way the bridge, all of that is chef's kiss, perfection.
I watched how they put this together. I mean, the amount of scope in putting this together, and what they had to do to build it practically. Like,
it was like over $250,000 just to build the bridge, right?
Yeah.
From that time, like that.
It cost $2.8 million to even do.
Yeah, in our money,
altogether, and at that time.
Oh, you mean the whole movie, the budget?
Yeah, the whole movie at that time was which was a lot of money. Listen, it's still a lot of money to us common folk, except for Joel, he's rich. But for the rest of us, yes.
Yeah, but again, think of that bridge and that train. That was no models. That was a real train. It was a real bridge, and they blew it up. And
they used elephants to bring in the parts, the heavy parts. They brought elephants to bring them in. so that they could build some of the heavy materials because they didn't have
That's
anything.
not a metaphor for native,
right?
right?
You could have a truck bring it
No,
in.
there was no truck to bring that shit in.
And the elephants is not a metaphor for the locals, the natives.
That was not a euphemism. That was not a.
Even though the military there helped to build the
and they could have easily
they could have
so
they did help. No, and I didn't realize this. There was whiteface in the movie as well.
Yes,
because they didn't have enough money to have enough soldiers, so British soldiers, so they had to basically line up the British actors they had, put them in front, and then as you go back, they put the people from that area, they put them in whiteface.
Mm-hmm.
And they were running around.
Which, by the way, also not offensive, and no one cares.
No, they were running around telling people what to do and drinking lattes. And,
actually, let's being that again. There's changes coming into this episode. Let's just. I got to open up this discussion. I have to ask the question.
Yes.
Is something like blackface or whiteface or anything like that?
Yes.
Is it offensive? So I understand people are going to have their different level. What does that even mean, right? But is there a difference when it's being done of making fun of a people, right? Like what blackface originally was. That's what it was.
Yes.
Versus something like obviously in this movie, it's not really blackface. They're doing what
it's
but I'm going to talk about like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, where obviously they're actually making fun of actors.
Yeah, that's a satire. You're saying the difference between satire.
Yes. And you're making fun of the white actors that would think that would be cool to do when you could have equally hired a black man to play that part. Right. Versus what blackface originally was, which wasn't even about you could have otherwise hired a black man. It was they were legitimately making fun of the stereotypes and the tropes that people thought of.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like,
on top of not wanting to hire black people.
But like for instance, in this situation, yes. In this situation, though, when you're in a country like that, right, where you
listen. That blackface, I made fun of it because I have to. It's me,
of course,
because I have to.
Because of course, it's in the law.
It's a law. I had to do it. And the fact that these women were gorgeous women that were rubbing all of this.
They did not find the unattractive.
Rubbing all.
Yeah. They were like, listen. From what I hear, Sylvester Stallone would have been happy in this movie because he don't like no ugly broads out in his set. Yeah, that's Rocky fans. He ain't that nice all the time.
Here's my thought on all that kind of stuff. Daryl, is this?
Yeah.
Do you hang out with him?
All the time.
Yeah. I don't hang out with him. I can separate a character from a person.
We run around. We go. Not
and my guess is, if we found out all of the things that make our supposed people that we've loved in movies and in music, if we actually knew their day to day. It's really, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I don't even care. I couldn't care less.
I want him to be worse. Where's them big booties? I want him to be yelling on set. Like I want a scene where they yell on set.
Yeah.
Like, I want the biggest asses.
I'd rather deal with somebody like that than the guy who pretends to not be that way and then is actually that way, but puts on the front like he's.
I want to be the black guy there, and I'd be like, oh shit, did Rocky just ask for big butts? Oh shit, Rocky just said that girl was ugly. Oh shit, Rocky just kicked that man with the wheelchair out of the set because he don't want no handicapped people in the movie. I'd have been that guy. Yeah. Rocky crazy. That'd have been every day.
Yeah.
I'd been like, Rocky fucking crazy.
But you know what? You would have stayed.
Well, I gotta get my money. I'm not gonna give up my money now. I gotta get my check.
Of course.
I'd have talked to him so I can keep my job. Like, Rocky, come on.
Rocky, you need somebody to kick out.
You need some man that's chubby, that's not that attractive, but still funny to be in this movie. Come on, Rocky.
Come on.
I got you.
It's like Eddie Murphy, that old John, when all the Italians are coming out of the movie theater, just Rocky.
And then when he walk away and I'm with my brothers, I'm like, fuck that motherfucker. I don't give a shit about him. I'll kick his ass. You know.
Then he looks.
One of those situations.
Yeah, you talk that shit real quiet, like fuck Rocky. I'll kick Rocky. Fucking. Yeah. What? He back? Hey, Rocky. How you doing, bro? I got you.
Oh
I
my
got
God.
you. Yeah,
I
dinner?
thought Bridge on the River Kwai was going to be so off brand for us. And then
No.
what are we doing? And
Listen,
here we are.
We've
No,
covered some classics before, and dick
I've
jokes
destroyed
and stuff
them
like this,
all. I've
always.
destroyed.
That's true.
I've destroyed them
Them
all.
big
It's my
dicks come
powers.
rolling in.
Oh my
No,
God.
this was an incredible movie. No, I would say when it comes to scope, like it just my head can't even wrap around the scope of putting this thing together. Like
I
it's
know.
just amazing
Crazy.
the things that they went through. Like you see it, but then you don't really get it until you watch the making of it somewhere.
Mhm.
Just find it. Just go somewhere on YouTube or whatever and watch what they had to go through to make it. And then you're like, damn, like how it's just amazing the stuff they would do back then to do
Without
something this
CGI.
big, which it's different because African Queen, right? Like that movie had those wonky special effects for when they're at sea, right? And it's noticeable. It's very noticeable. This is not like because it's so practical.
Yeah.
It holds up in a way that other films you have to kind of take your brain and kind of be like, well, it was of this time and that's why it looks that awful.
Yes.
But they don't have that issue. Like the gut to have it where, all right, we don't have money to do the gun fight kind of thing. We don't have money to do that in every scene. So let's do this. When they shoot down, have the thrill, have it like amp up the suspense of them creeping around, right? When they're aiming down at the soldiers, when they find the women and they're like, we can't be discovered. They amp up the suspense so much, and then camera goes away,
and you don't see the kills.
You don't see any of the kills.
Because you hear the gunshots and you see
that's
all
them.
them.
You need.
That's all you need.
Yep.
And then when you see the water in red and the bodies, the impact is even more.
What I noticed about that scene is when it kind of pans back.
Yes.
And you see them lying there. You see the women, and it's all silent. All you hear is basically those flapping thingies, those flying foxes, whatever it is, and the waterfall. And you see the women standing at like different levels.
Yeah.
And everybody's
they all judge you like wives do, right? They all have that look like y'all ain't none of y'all piece of shit. All y'all just fucked up. Like I just love how they did that. They just looked at everybody. They were like,
more men for us to rob.
Yeah. Y'all out. Y'all out.
But I like to see. I mean, there's a lot of these. Like when what was his name? The other guy with them, Warden. When he gets shot in the foot of it, you don't see anything of that. You hear the gunshot and you see him kind of wins, and then you see the blood on his sock. So.
And they don't even make a point of showing the bullet wound. They make a point of showing that this dude had a family, and he probably was trying to say his prayers before he died. The soldier. They make a point of showing you the leaves where he had the picture and his family on top of it. Like it pans back instead of saying, "What are we doing this for?"
Oh yeah,
young kids are dying out here. Like they don't even do that. No.
And then you got to kick in with something's happening.
Yes,
I realize it's not the right war, but that's what they always do.
But it's the same. Like,
they always do that.
Same,
all along the wash shower.
Before I forget,
this, man,
can I mention, because I wrote that down, the guy with the most pointless job in the whole movie. And the one that will probably get shot and killed if he doesn't keep continuing. The one pulling the string outside the that is.
Oh, that poor dude! The
fanning, the fan of the colonel.
Hold on. I'm going to make an argument. I think he's got the best job because when the stuff hits the fan, when stuff literally hits the fan.
Out.
What's he gonna do? You know he knows his way around this place.
Right.
You know,
disappear.
And he's not gonna be there. Nobody cares. Some guys being the low man on the totem pole can really work to your benefit.
I'd be the fan, dude.
I'd be the fan guy too. I'd be willing to be the fan guy.
I'm not brave to be shooting and running around. I'm not.
And let's be honest, he's not gonna end up in that hot box.
No.
Like Alec Guinness does. No.
That
by the way, honestly.
Oh, sorry. I just realized how that looked.
Yeah, look. The freezes with your hands. Yeah,
I know you had a lot of kids and you was big.
Good God, we got to get out of the system right here on the show.
You ain't gonna make me feel bad.
Listen, Listen, I'm going to use a movie title for that. That was then. This is now.
Also a book, Peter. Also a book.
Yes.
Yes, it was. I will say though that I think that Hotbox to me is the ultimate in just like there's a lot of things torture.
Real Hotbox too.
That looks.
They
horrific.
made them not. They made the hot boxes like they're supposed to, and then of course.
You've both been to Florida. You've both been to Florida, and I know it gets pretty damn hot even
hot ass Florida.
Okay,
yes.
Have you ever walked into a real tool shed in Florida?
Yes.
So now imagine being left in it for a week, and
we used
imagine
to play hide and seek in our tool sheds in New York in the middle of a hot ass summer.
That's hot.
And we sounded like we was running from the South. And by the end of the playing time, we were like, oh, this is a great idea. We're gonna be in there. We're just gonna be fun in there. And we're like, oh Lord, we ain't gonna get out of here. We ain't gonna make it. I wish somebody would just tag out so we can go home to our families. And that's basically.
That reminds me, and it's a total side note, but it's a hilarious joke. So when I was a teacher, we did this thing every summer with my dad. My dad was a math teacher, and yes, I knew my dad. We've established that.
Rubbing it in, don't you?
I know, I am. But so my wife was a math teacher, and I wasn't because I barely could do math. But I videotaped it. They did. I'm not joking. This is a real thing they did called Math Camp. And we had a math camp at their middle school, and actually their middle school was in Haines.
Questions.
Oh yeah. It was in Haines City, and Haines City, let's just say, is on the poorer side of things. So, lots of kids coming from like all kinds of background. It was, but they gave them like 2 weeks of like this math camp. I think, and they would do.
And you had to add and shit all day.
No, it was more like doing things like making rockets and learning physics and like geodesic domes. But this one teacher that helped out, this one guy, he was like, I think it was actually he was a part-time. I don't know if you've been like a part-time teacher. Was also a student at UCF, University of Central Florida. His name was Percy, right?
Educated motherfucker.
Yeah. He was a large black dude. Okay, and I'll never forget.
Black in the shadow. I knew.
No wait, I'll never forget. We came in. I just got done filming, and it was it's the middle of summer in Florida, and he was a big dude. Like this guy was.
Yeah, we sweat.
A big fella.
Yeah, we sweat.
And he just leans over to me. He goes, "Man, I'm sweating like a slave," and I literally, I did a spit take across. I was like, "Oh no!" In front of the kids, he didn't care. He's like, "Man, I'm sweating like a slave." I said,
because we know we feel it from the answer. Listen, when it gets so hot, when a big black man gets so hot, an older big black man,
I have never forgot that.
We are looking for ways to escape. It's like instinctual. It's like it doesn't make any sense.
You're like, no, you know what this means.
It's so hot.
And to bring it back, this movie really made you feel that.
Because they made the actors feel that. They said there were countless actors that passed out from.
That is a shock. Did you hear David Lean, the director, almost died too on the river?
Yeah. They're all out there. Like every shot they got.
They earned
work to get.
They earned every shot.
That first shot with the officer standing out and Saito is almost going to shoot them, which would have been a blessing, to be honest. And that
really would have been.
And he lets them stand there all day in the sun. One of them keels over, probably dies. And
they did die. One of them did die. They said.
After that, they brought them into the punishment hut, and they brought Nicholson into the colonel, beat the shit out of him, threw him in the oven, so they could continue this punishment. I was like, come on,
But it was so important, without saying it, it was so important to show that Colonel Nicholson, knowing what he's going to do, they need to show me that Nicholson is not a coward.
Yes.
It's not
this is not him being a coward. Correct.
No, it's not, and you need that part because if they didn't have that long battle of wills,
then you would wonder.
I would think, you are traitor. Like you are just a traitor. Then you are just a coward.
That's also what the movie does good. It shows Saito's view because he's going to be. He's if they're not finished on time, May 12th. He has to kill himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have these battle of wills.
There's stakes for everybody.
Stakes involved.
And both of them kind of needs to give a little bit.
And how impressed are you guys? Like, just think about it. Think about all the crap we have to sit through nowadays, right? Every character in this movie, every one of them has a character of the major characters has an arc. They all have an arc. The good guys, the bad guys,
everybody.
Four men, basically.
I would even say, but like Warden, the one who gets shot in the foot that Peter mentioned, was it Warden? Is that his name?
He comes in the second half. Right?
But yeah, like by the end of it, like he's got an arc. Everybody who's in this movie at all for any significant has like the kid from Canada.
Joyce.
Joyce. He has an arc. Like
never killed anybody.
Yes, and the way they do that whole scene where he chases down the young soldier, and the guy he turns, and it's a kid, man. You can tell that's like a 15-year-old kid, and he can't do it.
And it's a long chase too to get this kid. Like they're sitting there
listen to it again. It's all silence.
Yes,
all silence,
you have animal noises and kind of jungly noises.
That is great cinematic storytelling.
Yeah. Use the surrounding sounds that they're good enough, and you hear all that, and they're listening to what is it? Someone running, or is it wildlife, or what is it? And then all of a sudden he's right there.
Yeah.
So
it was and even laying, they wouldn't even put cushions for when the doctor comes and he's talking to Nicholson. They made them lay on those hot, uncomfortable bamboo things to kind of get in the scene.
Authenticity.
To get in this, because they wanted the actors uncomfortable. He wanted the actors to look
the good news, real quick, Daryl, side note, good news, we would never have to worry about that today, because we all have learned that like making actors uncomfortable is a bad idea in any way, shape, or form.
That's not exactly true. We do. Some filmmakers still do that.
Really?
Well, I would say, here's the thing. There's a line, right? There's a line between what they did in this movie.
Yes.
And well, I'll be honest with you. I always thought like how Stanley Kubrick treated Shelley Duvall in The Shining, and a lot of people have actually argued her massive amounts of mental illness she has today could even be maybe direct.
A little bit from
like he was straight up just abusive to her. Like you could, you don't. I think there's a big difference between creating an environment, right? That is a little uncomfortable, a little, so you could get into the scene.
There's a line between Last Tango in Paris. There's like that kind of treatment of a woman, a female actor in that movie is horrifying. And like there's a line. There's a line.
Yes, there is.
There's a line of respect that you should have for actors.
It comes back to if a director is a professional, they get what the line is. Right. Whereas I think so, and honestly, I've always loved the Lloyd Kaufman of Trauma Films attitude. No, I've heard him say it point blank. There's no movie, none, that's worth dying for, or severely injured for. Full stop. So if you could do what they did, it's something like Bridge of the River Kwai, and keep everybody safe.
Right.
Then there's no, to me, I guess, but it's all extremes, right? We now get to a place where if anybody feels even remotely uncomfortable about anything, suddenly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there is a line there too, where maybe you could go a little too far in that direction of overprotection of people. I think that's the other problem.
Sure, you old curmudgeon.
Goddamn right. Goddamn right.
The thing again, like Daryl said, with the scope of a movie like this, keeping everyone safe. It's like, look at the Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. When you see them standing up on that ledge and you see that whole compound and the cars driving off, it's not a small scene. It is a huge scene.
That would make that movie stand out. Like that, he's an actor who did practice, because there's so many people that don't do it practically anymore.
And I'll be with you, that was my big. I didn't dislike Furiosa. I actually liked it quite a bit.
But that's why spoilers.
I won't. But that's why I like Fury Road more, is because they did way more practical stuff, even though there's some CGI. But Furiosa is a lot of CGI, and sometimes it really showed. It really showed. So I think, and I get it, but at the same time, that's why, honest to God, I'll tell you right now, I think all the AI stuff, in my opinion, is way overblown. And here's why. Because at the end of the day, go ahead, make all your movies with AI, whatever you're going to do, and nobody's going to want to watch it. You know why? Because what makes movies like this rewatchable is because we know on some level, deep down, it's like, that shit's real.
It's real. It's
real. Not made in a computer. It could even modern day CGI. I showed my kids Lake Placid. Remember that cheeseball movie?
I remember watching that movie.
So that movie came out in 1999, which, by the way, took me down this whole rabbit trail about Bridget Fonda and how she retired. And it's like,
I know,
dude, she just straight up doesn't give a damn anymore. You know what? Good for her. I love that she's like, F y'all, I don't care. I'm a mom now. I don't even care. Kiss my ass. I love that. Anyway, that aside, the CGI in it, it's cheesy. It's 1999. But what kills me is it feels like we kind of got better with it, and then all of a sudden, and I know a lot of it's because these visual effects houses get pushed way too hard by these goddamn studios.
We go to a certain point, and then it goes back again.
Yeah, it doesn't look. You know what I'm saying? So in the end, that's why I don't get into a lot of these movies that come out, like the Marvel movies and shit. And I'm done with Star Wars. It's boring. It's boring because none of it's real. Like nothing. It's all a cartoon. It's a live action cartoon, basically. That's all it looks like to me. I feel nothing.
I think that's I'm with you on that.
And I don't think I'm alone because look at the friggin' box office, right? I think a lot of people are just done with shit. Yeah. Now, it does suck because I thought Fall Guy was actually a lot of fun and there's a lot of real stuff in it. But unfortunately,
that's
but you talk. I mean, this summer is a different case.
Yeah, it is.
It just doesn't feel like a summer where you want to go to a bunch of movies. Like the movies I want to see. Like I didn't even go see Bad Boys yet, and you know how much I love Bad Boys.
Me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually shocked.
Yeah. I want to, but I probably will go see it next week. But again, it is just that type of, I don't know. It's just something with this summer that just makes you.
I'm not gonna lie. I am really jonesed for Twisters.
We talked about that.
I love the original Twisters.
I never got Twisters. I don't know.
I love the original Twister, and I will say. It's a cheeseball movie. It's a really good, but it's fun. It's just a fun.
It's a
turn
fun
your brain off.
Ride.
Yes, and Twister. And I will make an argument. I think Glenn Powell is like legit, like one of the few people that's coming up that feels like an actual honest to God movie star to me. Most people, you get. It's like, or you feel like a movie star and then they don't ever use them right. Like Idris Elba. I always thought, why isn't that guy a bigger star? Right? There's certain people you're like, well, that guy's got the charisma. He's got that thing. But we've gotten away from that to a large degree, other than Tom Cruise will put in stuff.
Yeah, movie stars don't. Yeah, they don't
not like before.
No, but I just
look at this movie. You have
because I don't know who that guy. You say that name, and I only know him because I've seen a few things. No, I know right now because we recently talked about it. But if you wait a couple of months and then said that name, I'd be sitting there going.
Well, I think he's at the beginning. Like I think if he gets enough movies that actually did halfway decent, because he did that anything but you with what's her name. I was gonna make a crude joke about her, Chesty McChesterton.
How dare you talk about our greatest?
Sydney Sweeney.
How dare you talk about our greatest?
But he did that, and that movie did really well. Right?
For a comedy, yes.
Dude, it made a lot of money. It made like $200 million for a low budget.
For a comedy, yes.
And that's the other problem. And I know this has nothing to do. Oh, actually, kind of does. Because Bridge over River Kwai had a budget that even in that time was a lot, but it was nothing compared to today. I would make the argument both Furiosa and Fall Guy, right, would have been fine with their openings and everything else if the budgets were not $150 to $180 million. If they were at a reasonable look, Godzilla -1 proved that shit doesn't have to happen.
Well,
anymore.
Part of the problem is, and if you can't pull the rabbit back. Part of the problem was Fall Guys that the box off the money you have to pay those to get those actors, those two actors, is a lot. And I'm sorry, but they're not
180 million a lot though.
So the issue becomes though, and I mean people don't want to say these things, but the thing that becomes if you're paying them that much, they're not actors that make you want to go to the movies to see them. If they're in a movie you like a genre you like, you'll go see it, and then the enhancement is them being in it.
Yes, I agree.
But they're not where you get up and go, I'm going to see that movie because of.
But let's just say, I'll be generous, dude. I'll be generous. Say they got each $15 million. Okay, there's 30. Where's the other $150 million? Now that movie had some cool stunts, had some cool effects. But all I'm saying is, to me, and I understand there's no movie stars in it, but Godzilla -1 cost $12 to $15 million.
I know.
It made over
Godzilla a movie star.
Well, yes, he's a movie star.
Yes, he got the most money.
But what I'm getting at, a movie with subtitles made well over $100 million, right? And I think people, by and large, loved it. So it's I just feel like the thing that Hollywood, or they're just going to be done, which maybe they already are, But I think if they can't get the era of $1 billion box office, bye-bye. It's done. I don't. Other than Deadpool,
well, look at Dune.
Wolverine's the last shot. That's the last shot they got for a while.
But look at Dune. for example.
How much has it made total though? Has it hit $1 billion? Has it hit $1 billion? I don't think it's hit $1 billion. I'll look. You keep talking. I'm gonna look. I don't think it's hit $1 billion.
For what it cost. First, look at how much it costs.
All right. Well,
you look at how much it costs, and then you break down
times 3 because that's usually 190 million was the budget.
Right.
And then
now, how many movies that big in scale? And that was a big in scale film. That was a big movie.
Yeah, but think about this one though. I looked it up here. Budget $2.8 million back then,
Mm-hmm.
and the box office for this was $30.6 million,
which is more than 10 times.
Yeah.
So if we follow that logic, the Dune 10 times would be 1.9 billion, and it didn't. So here's what Dune made: 282 million in the States, but the rest of the world total 711 million, which by the way is enough for it. That's a lot of money. It's enough for it to earn a profit. Yes. But what I am saying is, if they keep making every movie as if it's going to be Dune 2, they're screwed.
No. What I'm saying is this is the done. This is broken down. Like this is cheap. This is the director, because remember, a lot of these films that wind up doubling the box office, a lot of it comes from not having a cohesive plan, having to reshoot, change up what the story is going to be. That adds money. No. This guy is amazing. Dennis, how
you pronounce his name?
He comes in.
Villeneuve, I think.
I don't know. He's a foreigner. It doesn't matter. I'm American. I say how I want. He comes in. He's one of the directors that comes in with a definitive plan. He's done all types of films.
Yep.
To come up with a sci-fi film that big with those actors, mind you, those amount of actors, those big actors, Josh Brolin. Come on now.
Yep.
To come in with those big names and have them all in this movie, and to keep that sucker so concise and at that budget, didn't go over budget, kept it at the budget it was planned to go in. Yep. That's the kind of directors we need now. Because they can come into a project.
Responsible professionals?
Yes. They can come into a project.
Say that again. That doesn't have that.
They know how to, they have a vision of what they want to do. Yep. They know how they're going to do it. They're confident in their filmmaking, and they're able to come in. The problems have been is that the rush to make all of these big genre films, you have studios hitting you. You get people you don't get a cohesive plan for these directors, and when they come in, it becomes a shit show. You got all
and it's also oversaturation of the market. I was fine going through all the Marvel shit up through Endgame, and then I'm like, bro, I'm not going to keep this going. I don't care enough. And then,
you're not going to support okay movies.
Well, not even that. It's like I felt like I need everybody. I think anybody who's a normie, I get true comic book nerds would take it all day long. I get that, but for the rest of us, wait a few years. Just wait a few years.
I think it also goes. I think they would have kept going. No, if you came out with a bunch of movies that were at the same quality of Black Panther, Winter Soldier,
Iron Man,
they would come see them. We would complain that we have to go see these movies because it's so expensive, but they would go see them. The drop off has been, I'm tired of going to see a movie like this and they're mediocre, okay movies. They're not terrible, but they're just okay.
Some of them are terrible.
Yeah, some of them are, but I mean, it's the okay one. Too many okay movies will have you going, I will wait. And that has been happening with people. They're like, I'll wait.
Yep.
But we do extremes with everything, right? Everything has to be extremes. But that's the problem. When you do these films, you gotta have a director who's a strong director, like what we're talking about. This director, David Lean, the decisions he made, they could have went for something else. They did not want him to do everything he did in this. They literally took his cameras away when he hit the deadline, when he was done, and then he had to do whatever additional shoots that they do. They did that on handheld cameras.
Yeah.
Because he kept going. And those handheld cameras added to those are the scenes where they're walking through the jungle and you're seeing them trying to find
that juxtaposed with all the beautifully composed earlier stuff. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I mean by somebody who's that consistent and has that
made a couple of good movies.
That kind of eye, like that kind of eye to be able to be like, this is what I want to do. You don't want me to do this shit, then fuck off. I'm not going to do it. But if you want it done well, I can do it, and this is what I can do.
All right, so real quick, I want to throw up here. Hold on, I heard Peter talking about real quick here. Add to stage. Boom. So you said David Lean. I would say other than Zhivago and Lawrence of Arabia, what else is he known for?
Passage to India, Ryan's daughter.
Okay. Was that his? Oh, that was his last movie. Was Passage. He only did 16 movies.
Only. Yeah. His movies went heavy.
Oh, he was the Oliver Twist director? Is that no? That's not the musical Oliver Twist, right?
No, I don't think so. No.
That's the 1940s Oliver Twist. Okay. I like the music. That's one of the few musicals I like.
Yeah, the black Oliver Twist when he went to Harlem.
No, the
yeah. That was Ollie Twist.
Ollie.
Ollie.
Yeah, that one. I mix them up sometimes.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. Other than the movies I mentioned earlier, I don't recognize really any of these. Bridge Road Drive. Actually, these three. I feel like Boom, 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 and I have those passages. Like literally, that
is a good one too.
I would argue these three are why. I mean, the other movies I'm sure are great, but this is why he's a legendary director.
His legacy is
right here. These three.
Chicago,
Boom, Boom, Boom. Yeah.
Lawrence of Arabia. River Kwai, Passage India. These are the movies that
made him.
I mean, come on now. It's 2020, 24, and people still talk about these.
Doesn't he look exactly like you thought he would?
Yes,
exactly.
Exactly. Cigarette in his mouth, looking at film. Yeah. Just get that British. He's very British.
Stern.
He looks stern. He does it. 100% like I was hoping.
Yeah. He definitely has that. Put a Band-Aid on it. Don't cry.
Stiff upper lip.
Stiff upper lip.
It's still bleeding. Put another Band-Aid.
It's like wrap another Band-Aid on that. You're fine.
Put some tussin on it.
But exactly.
Well, that's what he did for this movie with that. I mean, even though he tried, like he did build a village for them to.
Well, it takes a village.
Comfort.
Yeah. What? One of the smart ones of William Holden. He was one of the first in kind of actor history who took a percentage.
Yes. Made a ton doing it.
Which sucks because he died actually relatively young, didn't he?
Yeah, but it made him live a comfortable life.
Yeah, he was the highest paid, I think, at the time.
He was like 63.
Just from this movie alone, he had a comfortable life.
Yeah, I've always liked him. Dude, Sunset Boulevard, I love that movie. Network is a great movie.
Yeah. I watched with William Holden. What is it?
Stalag 17 is great.
Yeah, Bridges of Tokoria. I watched that recently.
Yeah, I know that one.
I don't know that one.
Oh, his last movie was
Towering Inferno. The Man from Colorado is another one.
Oh, I didn't know he was in Towering Inferno. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
Network. I thought Network's a good one. Yeah. That is hell, and I'm not taking it anymore.
Oh yeah,
it's good. Good to see. And Network got the future of media and corporations totally wrong. By the way, totally wrong in there.
Well, he was an SOB too.
Yeah, it was his last.
Don't forget Damien, The Omen. Don't forget that.
Omen 2. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in The Omen? Okay.
Yeah.
About part 2. Yeah.
You don't remember his part in Omen 2?
I saw Omen 2 years ago, man. I don't remember anything. I know he's a older kid. That's like all I remember about that movie. Yeah. Although I will say, speaking of Omen, the first Omen that just came out, shockingly good. Like I loved it.
Okay. Yeah, shockingly good. I have heard people say that.
Dude, it was like I heard they were making a prequel to The Omen. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, I know.
But Daryl, I'm telling you, man, it's got like these 70s vibes. You would like it. I think, and Peter, I know you'd like it for sure. Yeah. Okay. But Daryl's not as much of a horror guy, but I think Daryl would appreciate
that predictable?
No, I mean, it's already available on whatever streaming service I own.
Yes. So. I think it did pretty. I have to look up. I think it did okay budget-wise. I mean, box office-wise.
Well, it wasn't expensive either, I don't think.
Yeah, that's the other secret. Don't spend $1 gajillion. Just saying. Alec Guinness didn't do anything other than this movie that anybody would know.
No, I don't remember from anything.
No.
Yeah, I feel like there's very little.
Murder by Death, the one above.
Yeah, Murder by Death.
Because he plays someone. What is his? Benson Mom is his name in that one. I remember. I was looking through his filmography. And I was like, hang on, wait a minute. Benson
I'm not sure what this movie is where he's wearing like a bathrobe in the picture.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Splish Splash. I was taking a bath yesterday.
He's not significant in any of that.
Yeah, he was in something that had deleted scenes. I don't know what this is. 2011.
The cool part is, you bring that up. Mute Witness.
I remember Mute Witness. Yeah.
That scene he's in was was just a fluke. They met him and they did something, and it didn't really shoot the rest of the movie until years later.
Yes.
So it's a really.
I remember when that came out, and I read about it in Fango, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it the guy who went on to do that American Werewolf in Paris? That god awful.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No idea.
Anthony Waller
is good though.
Anthony Waller. I gotta check now because I am 99% sure that's the guy. God bless his heart.
Yes,
American Werewolf in Paris. Yep.
Let's stay away from this.
Yeah.
Mutant is a good one.
Mutant was good, and I remember hearing that Alec Guinness was in it. What's funny is in my mind, I always think that he died like right after Jedi. I don't know why. I never realized he lived to.
Oh, because he disappeared. Because he disappeared.
Yeah, he kind of didn't do much after.
You silly nerd. You silly nerd.
No, he did stuff. He did stuff after.
I know. He still lived. You just thought he died like a Jedi.
Pretty much.
Fucking robe, and
I literally thought he turned into a Force ghost.
No, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
No, he was I mean, I wish they had stayed with this too, with the Jedi, especially with the newer stuff. He had a personality.
Yes.
Like that.
What a crazy idea.
Yeah.
Was he Lady Killers, the original?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They remade that with Tom Hanks, right?
Yes, I know.
Yeah, they did.
It was fun, but the original is really good.
I heard it was garbage. I didn't bother.
It was not that good.
Watch the original.
I love that Peter. Here's how we do this, kids. I say I avoided it. I heard it was garbage. Daryl apparently saw it and said crap. Yeah, Peter goes, it was fun.
It was fun.
You stop apologizing for shit, Peter.
Not more than that. The original.
The best part is no one would ever accuse you of being a shill, Peter. You are 100% sincere in your unmitigated love for even things that most of us can admit.
You would have built that fucking bridge for those Japanese soldiers, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
By the way, Colonel Saito, was he in? Oh, why didn't no? I clicked on the character's name.
Yes,
not the actor.
He was in a lot of stuff, but
Hayakawa. That's
a lot of stuff.
He redid his role in that Jerry Lewis movie, if you remember it.
Wait, what?
They did a parody of he did a parody of himself of that.
Did he really?
Yeah. There was a.
He was in Swiss Family Robinson. I like that movie. My dad loved that movie.
There was a Jerry Lewis movie where
he plays like the
scene they're building smaller bridges. He's dressed just like he
is he? That's hilarious.
The Daydreamer. Hang on, scroll up again. Why am I pointing at the fucking screen?
I don't know. What do you think it's
going to happen? Are you trying to touch it to make it?
Yeah.
What are you trying to get to?
I'm trying to find if where you.
Oh, the Daydreamer, that one.
No, that
was just a voice. That can't be that. No, this is when they show. I watched the scene of it. I saw the scene of it where he's, and I've seen the movie before. But
maybe the Geisha Boy, because that's
probably was the Geisha Boy.
The Geisha Boy,
probably. Yeah.
Yep, there he is. Jerry Lewis.
I think I have this one.
And he's dressed as Sato. He wasn't against making fun of his own self, and so he played himself in it. Again, he was a good. He was a silent movie actor.
He goes way back.
Yeah. He's a silent movie actor.
20s. Did you go the 20s? Dude, look at this guy.
21. Yeah.
My boy was. Wait. That dude was in movies going back to World War I.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Holy crap! Look at this. 1914.
Yeah, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
He's a good actor. I like him in this one.
He was totally such a good actor.
Because he does that. He again with virtually no words. The character arc for him, right? How he starts off,
right,
and where he ends up is just
and when you see these little snippets of scenes in between, where he's crying because he has to give in.
Yeah.
It
went against his pride. Yeah, a lot of this was pride.
For both of those men, right?
For all of them.
Yeah, for all of them, yeah. Good point.
For all of them, it was pride. Yeah.
Stubborn pride.
Yeah, stubborn pride.
Well, and you think about that cliche, pride goeth before the fall, right?
Yes, and they all fell.
And they literally all falls at the end. Yeah. Literally all fall.
Where is he?
Holy crap, I didn't even think about that. Every one of them literally falls.
Yes.
Which is Mike Clifton, the medical officer. He says,
yes, but that's how you do a message.
Yes. That's how you do it.
Oh
Yeah.
my
all
God,
of them
that's
died.
brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of them died.
Yeah, by the way, hey, not that anybody remotely who makes movies or anything gives a shit or watches this,
It's
but
such
you
an
see that
overlap.
reaction we
Look at
just
him.
had to
Yeah.
like a 70 or whatever year old movie, this or 60,
57.
whatever it is, right? This old ass movie, the way we just reacted to that realization.
It's 11 years
That
old.
is how you do it. Right there. We're fine. Put whatever message you want, but do it in a clever, interesting way.
And the only thing that actually kind of points it out is like Major Clifton, the medical officer, at the end of the movie, where he's standing there, where everything, the train has crashed and everybody is dead, and he says, he just shakes his head, madness. Just everyone is lying around dead.
Yeah.
I would actually argue
throughout the movie.
I don't know if this is since you watched the behind the scenes, Daryl. I don't know if they talked about this, but I feel like this was whether it was intentional or not. This is an anti-war movie. Like I think it showed the futility.
Well, to get permission to even do this, because remember they had to get permission also from the Japanese government to do it, and he made a point of saying this is not. We're not trying to be like
make you look bad.
Y'all are terrible people, and it's an anti, thing about anti-Japanese. No, this is about the fertility of war.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When I say anti-war, I don't mean necessarily going after one group or another, but I'd say the futility of it. It's anti-war thematically, in that this is all.
When you get to when it was first released, because it's based on a novel by Pierre.
It was
Boulle.
a submarine movie.
Planet of the Apes guy, right? Is the guy who wrote Planet of the Apes?
I have.
Well, it's a strange thing with the writing of it, because the two guys that were the writers, because they were labeled communists,
they
were blacklisted, and they couldn't even use their names in the.
Some of the first releases of this movie,
they got no credit.
No, because and the guy Pierre Boulle, who didn't speak a word of English, he got credited with writing it and got the Oscar.
He wrote the novel, right? Which he also wrote the novel that Planet of the Apes was based on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And later on, posthumously, I think both of these, Carl Foreman and Michael Wilson, who wrote the blacklisted writers, posthumously they later on got, and the version I have, they're listed as the writers.
There was a fight at the Oscars, I think.
Yeah.
Because they won.
He got the Oscar instead of that
screenplay, and they
were blacklisted.
And there was an argument, I think, from the director. Right? I think it was a fight between the director and the writers, because they basically were like, "This is bullshit. You didn't." It's like it was these two guys that we can't mention because a crazy man is labeling everybody who disagrees as a communist.
I watched a documentary yesterday, a featurette about the making of, and they showed the from the start screenplay where you see based on or written by Pierre Boulle, and then they showed when it was later released where it's credited to these guys. So this is my
soapbox now. It's a shame that I'm glad that this all ended, that they don't actually label people because they might have a different opposing view about a war that's happening, and not because they're anti the people on both sides, but they're saying both sides, there are people lost that shouldn't be killed, and they're labeled anti whatever.
Yeah. Well, but let's be honest. Everything's gotten everything, like, whereas back then you could point to like one specific like group doing this, like the anti-communist.
Somebody has to be the enemy.
Now everybody in their little tribes does this, that. Are you or have you ever been? And then fill in the blank of whatever.
People are losing jobs in movies and stuff because of it. I'm glad we don't do that anymore. That was just this.
Well, it's good to see as a country. Yeah, we are tribal, and we've
gotten so much better.
And that we are all very open-minded to free speech for each other.
Right. Yeah, we've gotten
in all directions. By the way.
Sure.
By the way, free speech implies that you're good with even the speech you don't like. By the way, in case I feel like that was something we knew up until about 5 minutes ago.
Unless you're Canadian.
And somewhere.
I don't trust you.
Okay. All right. Other than the Canadians, Lou, I'm sorry, barely Daryl.
Well, Joyce turned out okay in this movie.
That's true. Joyce was and actually, isn't that the actor that saved David Lean's life too? I think it was the guy who played Joyce.
Probably, yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't know that he's actually a Canadian. I know he's just the character. He just played one on TV.
You know, it's funny when they this perked my ears. This movie was going to be canceled. It wasn't going to continue.
Did they? Oh, it was going to cancel. Was it over a tweet? Was that what it was?
No. It was going to be canceled.
You mean? Okay.
No, actually canceled. Actually not made anymore.
Yeah.
Because they were like, the studio came back and said, "There's no white women in it."
Where the white women at?
Yeah, well, the white women.
And that perked my ears. Like, you know what? I feel the same way about life.
Wait, wasn't the one lady? Who was the lady that he hooked up with?
They threw her in.
Are you serious?
She was never supposed to be in the movie.
God, that is so ridiculous.
The studio said
they made her dye her hair blonde too.
They said you need a white woman, and you cannot do this. We cannot put this movie out if there are no white. They made sure to say white women at that time.
Very specific. They were
more
more forthright.
Because mind you, there were women of color in the movie because they were in the village. Mind you, they were, but the studio needed a white woman in this movie.
It's weird.
It's like
it had some problems getting made. So
it did.
Cool.
It did.
Yeah,
cool. Doing something this, at this caliber, this trying to do it the way he wanted to do it. Yes,
and also
there's so many great movies that have almost not gotten made.
Yeah, over stupid shit.
Over stupid shit, and over trying to put something together this big. Like you mentioned, Mad Max Furiosa. That's another one where there was so many things that went wrong in the beginning.
How about from the right off the bat, having Mad Max in the title when he has nothing to do with the movie?
Well, that too. That too. But also, the studio head that at that time was like fighting them tooth and nail. Like, we don't need this, and we need to cut this, and you're not going to get money for that. Like, trying to kill this movie at every point. It was just insane how it.
Are you implying Darryl Studios have always sucked?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not implying. I'm saying it.
Okay, explicitly, we're stating it here. We're taking a very brave stance.
Yes.
On the show today.
No,
we think by and large as entities, studios have
How
sucked.
can that be?
Yes.
No,
murdering civilians is bad, and studios are always terrible. How about those two things?
Yeah.
I
don't know. I don't know if we can find common ground, Daryl, but today we will find common ground.
I know it's controversial these days, but
But studios suck.
The studio sucks.
Studios suck.
Oh boy. Yeah. No, let's bring up real fast the music because it's kind of iconic, and and it's not really made for this movie because it's an old tune from the 1915, 16,
which they were going to have in it.
Yeah, Colonel Bogey is the original whistling. Yeah, the whistling.
It's too crashed. They were going to sing the song. No, they were actually going to sing the song.
Yeah, well, the lyrics. Well,
the lyrics talk about people's balls, and so they were like,
"Are you serious?"
Yes. Yes.
That has come later. Yeah.
Is that the thing you said? Oh, okay.
Hang on. That came later.
Oh, that's what I thought. If it came out in 1915, that doesn't make it.
That came later because it was used. This specific Colonel Bogey song that I sent.
Yes.
With those lyrics. I've heard several different lyrics.
Yeah, there's different versions.
Yeah. It's kind of used as an FU and a finger up in the air for authority.
Right.
And back
then. I'm all for that.
Yeah, and this one they were thinking,
I know.
How do we make these British officers march into this camp and kind of, without being profane, how do we make them give a large fuck you to?
Yeah, because you don't want to show them as broken without saying we're not showing them.
And that's
broken.
and then they figured out we have to have something else, and then you kind of hear this Colonel Bogey march. Because they made what did they call it? A counter march. They did it where they used some of the themes from this Colonel Bogey into the River Kwai march. Mm-hmm. So it kind of there's two different marches that work hand in hand in this movie, but it's iconic music. I mean, if you start whistling that, everybody knows.
My kids are actually pretty good about recognizing things from other things. Mm-hmm. I ask them things like we go, "No, we've never heard that before." I'm like, "Really?" Because I feel like that's one of those that whistle part that is been in something throughout time. Like that's not
it's been used in different movies too.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I can see them missing it though.
I mean, but they watch like old Looney Tunes and stuff, and it's in all that stuff.
Yeah, but if you're not thinking about it, I can see it.
Sing the lyrics to them; they will love it.
Okay, they probably will.
Only got one ball.
I'll find that. Yeah, where you said that's the thing you said. That's
very small.
They'll love that. Yeah. Anything with ball jokes, they will find wonderful.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
balls are a funny thing.
Teenage boys,
They're
or
funny
or
till you get
50 or
till you
50
get
something
old.
year old men.
Yeah, till you get old and they're dragging. And they're
Well, then they really are
And
funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
And chafing because you're scraping them off. Yeah, never mind.
Something keeps falling in the toilet. What is that?
Whoa, that water's cold.
Oh,
Yeah, you flush it there.
oh,
I can't get up. Help, jump off the toilet again. Oh God! And you hear that? When you flush. So how the hell did we get here?
I don't know. But
We're
we
talking
probably
about
should.
one of the great classics of movies, and we have ball jokes.
Well, I will say, does it still hold up for you, Daryl? No.
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
No, it never held up because I never watched it.
Never watched it.
Fair
I
enough.
never knew. I never knew in the first place.
That's a fair thing to say. Peter, I know you would be great if this is the one movie, Daryl.
Oh, I would want him to go one day. I
Would
just want him to
you
just go off.
actually believe me if I said this movie didn't hold up? I mean, this
No,
is
not at all.
No, I wouldn't.
everything is good. The acting in this one is fantastic. Just look at Jack Nicholson.
Jack
The
Nicholson, yeah, he was great.
Jack Nicholson was great.
was
The
great.
Nicholson character played by Alec Guinness.
Oh, he would have
The
slept
way
over
he
there.
just look at the way when they pull him out of the oven and he's marching back. That weird march or walk he has.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he can barely keep his legs
he's
up.
standing tall.
But they kept the camera. They kept the shot just stays right.
Yeah.
We're
And
watching
way
him
back.
wobble.
Yeah.
We're watching him wobble. the whole
So no,
time.
this it looks good. It's shot beautifully. The acting
even
is fantastic.
even the marching. I forgot to mention that too. The part
when
of
they get in.
showing how their feet, like their shoes, are like dissolving on their feet.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much.
And they're still marching.
And they're still marching.
pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some are barefoot.
Well, that was like the Bataan Death March, right? That was one where the soldiers were, I think they're mostly American, right? They were marched through the jungle like that,
Right.
where
Yeah.
and Death March being key elements of the name. That
Yeah.
it did
And
well.
this one they march in, and some of them can't even walk, but they're still kind of trying, and they're still standing tall until
Defiantly. Yeah.
And that's another thing in this movie is because he thinks, Colonel Saito, that when you come in here, I'm the colonel. You do what I say. You have no British officers.
Yes.
None of them listen to him.
No.
Except when one of the British officers stand ease off or whatever, and that's when they do as they're told. But again, defiance, which just maybe
I mean,
kind of
he hates it,
stupidity
but
sometimes,
Sato is also very. He's very multidimensional because at the same time he's like, I respect you more for not listening to me. Yeah, yeah, I respect you more for it. I gotta fucking punish you for it, but I have more respect.
He recognizes that pride.
Yeah, he does
in them too. Yeah,
he does. That's the whole thing about this is that.
But isn't that interesting? Let's juxtapose that for a second, right? So, on one hand, in that time frame, like this movie's made, was it 50? What year did this come out? 56?
57.
57. Okay, so in that time frame, we guys got done discussing the whole idea, like, oh, where are the white women at? That whole thing, which was the studio, and yet this character who is not white is written with complexity, interest, sensitivity, empathy, right?
Yes.
So I'm just saying, it's an interesting junk. In other words, it may come down to, we always just kind of always think of like a certain time period being a certain way. It's like, no, because there were people that obviously weren't always like that, weren't always thinking, hell, and apparently it turns out they never intended for there to be any quote unquote white women in the movie. Yeah. That was something that was put in like.
But it ain't a movie I want to be in. Let me tell you. Not my America.
I got you.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting observation.
I read somewhere
neither's never gonna let this end.
No.
But again, with the Japanese and again with the complexity, think about also how, because in Japan this movie was kind of like, really, because they imply that the Japanese officers and engineers were very inferior to the British. Because they put the river in the wrong place, it was shoddy work, even though the soldiers did what they could to sabotage it, but they put the Japanese engineers in the bad light.
And then the Japanese engineers of the 80s, like with Sony, said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
and cars, the cars and the electronics of the 70s and 80s.
But also looking in, I wonder there also was a thing of they made a point of saying that the people, some of the people, the British officers and the army that just came in, some of them that survived anyway, they were engineers. There were people in it who were engineers, right? So they had that extra thing. And I kind of get a sense, without them saying it, but in the movie, I kind of get a sense that the Japanese government, like every government, they don't really think, they want you to do shit over the top, but they don't give you the resources to do it. And a lot of them did not have the engineering background to be able to build this fucking bridge.
Yeah, of course not. They don't care. They're like, get it done. We don't care how you get it done. Get it done.
Just get it done, and we won't give you anything because we want you to get it done with nothing. And
by the way, if you don't get it done, you're dead.
Right, and I get the implication that that's what happened. Like he was given none of the right tools to get this shit done. Probably told you have to get this shit done.
Yeah,
and that is why he took it out on all of the soldiers, everybody, because he had, like this, he wasn't given a choice. Either that or you kill yourself. What is the choice in that?
Yeah,
when you're doing this.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
It's a great
bad all the way around. Yeah, government's fucked up all the way around because they had to blow up this bridge for what?
Who are you telling?
Like it's like when you're not fighting, of course you can order people to do shit.
Yeah.
Wait till the bridge is done and they work their asses off, then blow it up. That'll be a big
little salt in the wound.
And for nothing, because it wasn't even a strategic.
I think the idea was they were transporting weapons.
Supposed to. If you read up a little bit of the history, even though it's not a very historic,
but they're not. They make an implication that they are, but they don't really confirm that that's the case. To go through all the trouble and people who died to get this thing done.
Yes. Yeah.
They say it could be.
Yeah. Yes. I think they built.
That's good enough.
Yeah. And that was good enough. It was actually going to be for sure. That they were going to take prisoners back and forth. It was easier to get.
Probably. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Whistling.
All right, so that is Bridge on the River Kwai. It was a great movie.
Yeah, fuck that movie.
So on that note, as I smile through my braces, I thought I'd tell people I got bling put on my teeth, but I didn't think they would.
That's what I thought you did at first.
Yeah. Would that be hilarious?
Yeah, you got
bling. Sup, dog?
Yeah.
A little glint off the teeth.
Yeah, I like it.
And then you go up to Kevin, you look at me, and you go, "I'm rich, really, bitch." And I would have been like,
"You're drooling."
I'd have been like, "Yes."
If I got encrusted, by the way, Daryl, if the day ever comes and I get encrusted diamonds put into my teeth, you are officially completely free with a straight face to say and assume that I hit the lottery because
this is my white man. I would go to Florida just to take pictures on TikTok and stuff to show this is my white boy here.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I love this dude.
No, truly to form, these are just like nerdy braces.
Yes.
Well, we need those too.
So anyway, I guess on that note, moving forward with Retro Movie Geek. So now because the party, if anybody stuck around this long,
this is sad. This part,
this is sad. This sad day. The show is done. We're through 100%. Just kidding. So obviously, we already stated we went a while there without recording something.
Yes.
I have quite a few things going on. Primarily this summer, I'm working on a project with my kids and this blah blah and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't want. I don't want this podcast to pod fade. I've been on ones that have done that, and it's not pleasant, especially when people listen because they're like, "Where's your show, guys?
Where are you, man?" Yeah, I've already had one listener write to me. Is it done?
Yeah, exactly. And I hate that. I hated that when it happened before on a different show.
I wrote that email.
It was Daryl. To be fair, it was like, "Where's the show, guys? What's happening?"
Yeah.
But that being said, so I talked to these two yahoos, and what we had talked about before we came to the decision we came to was that we might take a break from movies for a while and focus on like retro TV shows, right? And that's when it really hit me. Even though I know primarily your guys' plan is for like pilots and things like that, maybe an episode or two.
Right.
Initially, we had talked about watching entire shows, which nobody Well, especially because let's be honest, we would end up running into those shows that were just we remembered them being good.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And
that's the fun of it. You don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's the danger of it as well.
Well,
so
the only thing you can do where you can do these where you watch every episode are the short ones, the ones that live
Like
the season,
Werewolf.
like
Like
13
Werewolf
episodes
the TV
here and there. Yeah. Like,
Yes.
But when we get
Automan
the Golden Girls, that's gonna be the shit, son.
You know what? I'm already watching it. I love the Golden Girls.
Yeah, well, I watched.
right.
And actually, we watched the entire series not that long ago, including the Golden
Hell
Palace.
yeah!
Wait. The game plan is thus: I am taking a hiatus.
Yes.
Right. These two fellas right here.
These two.
Right, those guys. They are going to continue at least once a month. That's the game plan right now, right?
Yes.
At least once a month, doing a regular audio show, so it won't be on the video.
Like we did before.
If you're subscribed through Apple,
For this
Spotify,
new thing, technologist.
yes, but it's gonna be like Retro Movie Geek presents, and it's gonna be like Retro TV Talk or whatever the hell they're gonna call it. No, and if I'm available, especially for something like the Jeffersons, Married with Children, and or Golden Girls, I will do my damnedest to be there for that.
That was the only shows.
Only ones you can do.
But you guys are doing, and we are still very much planning, to Daryl's chagrin, to do Spooky Flicks Fest like we usually do.
We have to.
Yeah.
And that will probably
like
involve
it.
some level of video for the YouTube channel and all that. But so no matter what, like even if we had taken a complete pause and or even stop to Retro Movie Geek as a regular show, we would still do the Spooky Flicks Fest. So that was going to continue to happen no matter what.
But talking a little bit of TV. That's
yes, but that's so if you're into retro TV, you should definitely check that out. If you're into listening to these two schlubs, which I've already gotten emotional with them about because I've been doing since Forgotten Flicks started with Jason Grooms. We started that in 2010.
Yeah.
So and that was honestly one of the very first shows Daryl came on. Yeah. One of the very first shows Peter called into. So I feel like I've been doing something with these guys since
been a long
forever.
Time. Long ass time. Yeah.
So I don't want to not be doing something with them.
Daryl called him from The Fixer. Remember?
Yes, that was. I actually had the Fixer's hideout, man. I remember that's how I found Peter. I mean Daryl. Yeah, it's because of Daryl and the Fixer. Umar, right? It was Umar, right?
Umar. Yeah.
You ever talked to him? Have you ever seen him? Really?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
long time.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's so funny. Like you think back to like that time period and like all the people that have come and gone, right? And it's like you're like, I wonder what happened to so and so. I wonder what happened to so and so, and. But point is,
some of us are still here.
Some of us are still here. But I basically been doing some variation of this show for almost 15 years.
Yeah.
And I basically at this point, I primarily do it because of you two, because I love talking to you.
Your penance.
My penance, and honestly, for the listeners that I know do listen and they get touches, like that's the main reason I've done it this long. But with Mom and Pop Video Shop going on, with the thing I'm doing this summer with my kids, just life, blah blah blah.
Being a big movie star, fixing teeth.
Get my teeth, my grill fixed for my big appearances in the.
Yeah, man.
It's mainly so I don't continue to bite my inside of my cheeks because I had such a crossbite. I was told I would start to eat through my own cheek.
It's not a coincidence him and Eminem are back at the same time.
I know. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. That Houdini wasn't bad. It was old school.
See what I said? Not a
it wasn't bad. My kids were like, Dad, Eminem's gonna do a song. I'm like, oh God, what's it gonna be? It's actually, you know what? It wasn't too bad. I actually kind of liked it.
Not a coincidence.
Not a coincidence.
No.
Is the implication that I am somehow Eminem? That seems weird.
No, you're working together.
Oh, is that what it is?
You're a poor white guy who eats
the new album. The dual album is going to be announced.
Dual album. Yes, the A side and the shit side.
That's exactly what it is.
So anyway, that's what we're doing. That's the game plan. And look, after Spooky Flicks Fest or into the year, going into next year, assuming we're all still here, assuming we're all still standing, then we will.
There are wars in the world, so
we'll rest up for movies, and then we'll be ready to get back.
Yes, that's it. Because we don't want to get to a place where we just burn out on it.
Yeah, you don't want.
We're like, or if you guys have a blast doing the TV thing, maybe we'll just.
Well, that's something. I mean, again, it's not weekly, which was crazy for us.
Yeah, that was a long time we did that weekly.
How the hell did we do that? And
I don't know.
Reviews.
Once you get into a habit, and it's anything you can keep going. If you
it was
but
insane.
even every couple of weeks wasn't horrible. But then here's the problem: we start going to like once a month, and then things fall and get in the way. Yeah. It's easy to break the habit, and then once you break the habit,
that's all.
You're still crying though.
Yeah,
I'm not crying right now.
No, but you will.
But no, we'll do it.
You don't know me.
We'll do before Spooky Fest. We'll probably at least be able to get in at least 3 to 4 episodes of the retro TV stuff, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna do pilots. We're gonna pick like Jefferson we mentioned, like Jefferson, any of the old stuff that we might want to get into, some obscure shit.
Okay,
we might want to do some.
Well, was it Hurricane? What was the one with Carl Weathers that initially got the conversation? What was it?
Yes, that
was it
something with justice.
Something like Street Justice. I think
Street Justice. That's right.
Like stuff like that. Like we'll do stuff like that. We'll mix it up. Like Buffy. We'll do an episode. We'll do the pilot of Buffy. That's something we wanted to do. Liz wanted.
There's a lot of that.
For sure.
Yeah, a lot of yep.
So there's plenty of shit. Like there's so much TV stuff. So
we could even to introduce Daryl to some of. There are some British old sci-fi shows.
And Daryl's out.
No,
we're gonna do this together. So yes, we're gonna do this together.
No, get the stuffiest.
There's one called
stuffiest, most white bread British shows you can find, Peter.
There's one called Survivors that is actually pretty good. Where it's kind of like we kind of lived through it.
Actually, you know what?
Kind of a pandemic.
You know what? I take it all back because I think if you found the stuffiest, most white bread British show, that'll be the shit Daryl will end up loving.
Probably,
because Daryl's taste always blows my mind. Some of the shit that he's down for. So, all right, that's cool. All right, anyway.
So be ready for that. We're working.
That is the game.
We're kind of not going away.
No.
Yeah. We're altering and tweaking, but but that's to prevent. Honestly, it was that, or we just completely put a cork in it and just say, look, we may come back, we may not, but it is going to be a break, indefinite. Because I hate doing that to people where it's like, oh, coming back, maybe we don't know. Well, we'll be. I don't want to do that. I don't do that.
Yeah. Then when you get there, if you do like that, finish it off. And then you think, oh, well, maybe I kind of wanted to talk about that. And then
here's the thing, and nothing is forever. As long as I keep paying for the damn website and the feed stays up, we can come back whenever the hell we want to. And there is that point. So
exactly.
But I do like the idea that you guys are going to keep the torch burning, and then we can
candle.
Oh, yeah, candle in the wind.
Candle in the wind.
Oh, I can.
Wait a minute, that means it'll be blown out.
I can handle a torch.
Yeah.
When we get to that old age where we don't remember, we start all over and do all of the movies we've already done because we forgot them.
Yeah.
And hardly remember each other.
That'd be hilarious. I already do that. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm not that far from that.
We still got to cover RoboCop.
Right.
We still got to cover 1988's A Blob.
Mm-hmm.
We still got to cut, right, Peter?
Sure.
We never covered Can't Buy Me Love.
Which we actually should do again.
You know what? I'm going to rewatch that with my kids and see if I still have my corn cob up my ass. I'm going to assume I do.
Shut your mouth.
See if they don't fall in love with her.
I'm sure they will.
Of course.
They're teenage boys. Of course they will. I'm just saying, though, they also have this unfortunate, cynical bent like I do when it comes to storytelling.
Shut your mouth.
Although, what am I saying? But then again, they also love the cheeseball stuff that I love too. So there we go.
That exactly.
Yeah. So that being said, Daryl, where can they find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on that thing that is supposed to be Twitter, the Voice 123 on Instagram. Just look up Daryl Taylor. I'm on there. That's
okay.
That's those places.
Cool.
The Klingon thing on his head.
Peter?
Klingon thing.
Yes. Well, here still. Or they can go to Tearing the Tube, where we're talking about TV, horror, suspense, thriller with Joel and Allison. And I'm talking with you, and we kind of want to kick up our list too, because we also have a list over there with movies.
Now you're talking with you, meaning Daryl Reedy, or
with you? Not with you, but with you.
Got it.
Every time we have to go through this.
I mean,
So they can find me there, and that's and all of the interwebs. I'm there somewhere.
Cool.
Doing silly stuff.
Yep. Obviously, I can be found, if you're watching this, on the Mama Pop Video Shop on YouTube.
Well, we're there too.
Yeah, in the US, you are as well. And also, every Monday, Tyson and I drop a review of some. Although we're going to alter it. We're going to start. Not yet. It's going to be a while because we already recorded like our last batch. But we're going to try to mix things up and basically pick movies for the other person that we don't think they've seen before. So that because right now we like pick movies that we want to talk about. So like every movie we review. But every movie we review, it's like four tapes, 5 tapes. You know what I mean? It's like every movie we kind of love. Yeah. So I thought it'd be funnier if we occasionally or have the viewers occasionally throw a movie at us, and then that way if we end up hating it, we can just then we have something to rail against. This is where I'm going with this, because when you kind of love everything, you just sound like Peter. It's really what I'm saying.
Ooh, shot fired.
I'm kidding. I love that about you, Peter. I love you. So that being said, check that out. Obviously, here on the tube. Past episodes of Retro Movie Geek.
Yes.
The upcoming Spooky Flicks Fest in 2024 in October.
Yes.
Let's see. What am I missing? I think I'm missing something here. Oh, Jan the Digital Horror Movies.
I was just saying. Aren't you missing your horror movie podcast?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Another one that I'm not on all the time, sporadically, but when it happens, it happens. Although I just recorded a Horror Lagoon with Mac. I did one with Mac for Goki, the Body Snatcher from Hell. I believe it was a Japanese film. Daryl, $100 on the table. Not your cup of tea. Not because it would freak you out or gory. It's just one of those really goofy, wacky Japanese kind of sci-fi-ish movies from the early. I feel like
Colonel Saito's not in it.
No,
what?
Or is he? We didn't check.
Really?
Don't you fuck with me.
Really?
Don't.
So I was there, and I'm going to be doing a Horror Lagoon with Dr. Sean Becker, and I just recorded with Dave a top 10 of 2023. Here's the flaw: the top 10 of 2022. I believe Jay of the Dead is still releasing. So we got a bit of a backlog, but he has a plan. He has a plan to catch up. So Dave and I just recorded our top 10 of 2023. I was actually proud of myself because I actually had a top 10.
It's the plan.
Yeah. So So anyway, check all that out. And on that note, any final words for me as I sail off into the sunset, never to be heard from again?
You will be back.
Most likely.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, but we want you to be back.
Don't get all weepy and sappy.
Don't you cry. Don't you cry.
Thanks for listening. Visit RetroMovieGeek.com and be sure to leave us voicemail feedback. You can share your thoughts by calling 484-577-3876. That's 484-57-RETRO.